I genuinely believe that one of the greatest blessings that a young dude, a young man can have is a strong, positive male role model in his life. Now, whether that's your dad, stepdad, grandpa, uncle, older brother, coach, mentor, cousin, whatever, just another man you look up to, that is super duper vital to your development, bro. Because boys don't just become good men by accident. Somebody has to show them how. And life will teach you eventually. It's just a whole lot less painful when somebody teaches you first, right? It's kind of like having a study guide prior to the test as opposed to just jumping into the test. I think, like I said, every boy needs a strong male influence growing up. Somebody to, drill into them what the do's and don'ts of life are, and planting seeds of a moral compass, showing them the reality things, and someone who's willing to give them the tough love instead of just telling them what they want to hear. And when I say a strong man, I don't mean every man needs to be 6'4", you know, benching a car and look like Captain America. Bruh, no. A strong man isn't measured by the weight he lifts per se. He's measured by the weight he carries. That's a bar. Strength is discipline, bro. Integrity, humility, being responsible, being a man of your word, bro. And that, I feel like that doesn't mean a lot nowadays, but we should bring that back, bro. And doing the right thing, even when nobody's watching. Because muscles might earn respect, but character earns trust. And sometimes I feel like our modern day society lacks some of the masculinity that it once had from back in the day. I'm talking about the Gary Coopers, the strong, silent type. If you know, you know. Not silent because they couldn't communicate per se, but because they didn't feel the need to announce every little fucking thing they were doing. They weren't clout chasing, chasing that validation or trying to prove or one up everybody to try to show that they were the toughest boy in the room. Nah, dude. They just showed up, handled business, kept their word, protected their families, and then just took responsibility, bro. And again, I'm not saying the past was perfect because by all means it definitely wasn't, because every generation has its own problems. But I do think there are certain qualities that are definitely timeless, bro. You know, having character, high character, uh, discipline, humility, integrity. Those characteristics, bro, they never go out of style, man. And now, while yes, this isn't everyone's story, some people grow up, are growing up, or have grown up without fathers. Some had fathers who were there but weren't emotionally available, you know, and some had nobody at all to teach them what it meant to be a man. And honestly, big ups, much respect for all those dudes because they had to, in theory, right? They had to become the man they never had. They had to break that cycle. They endured life so their kids wouldn't have to endure the same things. In other words, they crawled so their sons could run. And as a young man who's 27, I'm incredibly grateful, bro, to have had the guidance growing up and to still have the guidance from my dad. Because my dad, bro, honestly, he's my superhero. He fixes everything. I don't know how the fuck he knows, but nonetheless, I was that kid who held the flashlight while he worked on something, bro. I mean, to be honest, I still do, but and half the time I still don't know what the fuck he's doing. But looking back, he wasn't just fixing things around the house, but he was trying to show me, you know, plant those seeds, right? Teach me how to think, how to solve problems, and not to get frustrated when things don't go my way. And it's funny because when you're a kid, you get hella mad because you're like, why do I gotta do this? Why are you dragging me into this? But now that I'm older, I'm kind of just there, like, Damn, dad's actually smart. Nah, he has a no, but what I'm saying is he didn't really like get smarter overnight per se, but I just finally grew up enough to understand what he was doing. You know, you realize your parents were just trying to make your life easier by teaching you at a younger age. They're just trying to make you stronger. And one thing I'm really grateful for is that my dad never coddled me through my hardships. Like he was there, you know, but sometimes people want to take the pain away, this and that, of course, right? But if I was angry, frustrated, just going through it, breakup, whatever, he let me have those moments. Not because he didn't give a fuck, but because as a man, he knew, bro. He knew that growing pains are part of becoming a man. And sometimes the greatest act of love isn't removing someone's struggle. It's it's helping them become strong enough to overcome it. Another thing I really want to bring up is that men need other men, bro. We're not always the best at opening up. And yeah, absolutely. I'm not saying you can't talk to a woman about your problems, but bro, if I'm keeping it a buck, man, you gotta watch who the hell you're fucking talking to your problems about when it comes to talking to a woman. Because at the end of the day, there are some experiences that only another guy who's lived it is going to understand, and that same principle is applicable to women as well. We don't know what they go through, just like as we don't know, or they don't know what we go through, right? That's why mentors, good friends, fathers, brothers, uncles, just those male role models, bro, they all matter, man, because iron sharpens iron. And you need people around you who are gonna challenge you, bro, and who call you out on your shit when you're slipping, to tell you what you need to hear, not just what you want to hear, right? And then one of the best examples I have of this is Goku and Vegeta, right? Yeah, I'm bringing anime into this, but think about it. Neither one of them reached the heights, become the gods or whatever they did without one another. They pushed each other, challenged each other, right? And then they made each other better. And that's what good men do, bro. They don't compete to tear each other down, but to build each other up. And on the contrary, if you're a father raising a daughter, bro, your role is just as important, dude, because the way you love her, protect her, and respect her becomes one of the first examples of what a good man looks like, man. So you set the tone, you set the standard because you're showing her what how, and yeah, just how she deserves to be loved, bro. Because kids don't just listen to what we say, bro. They watch what we do, monkey see, monkey do. And then we passively pick up things from our parents. You know, don't create, you know, a girl with daddy issues, brother. At the end of the day, I know not everybody was blessed with a man who planted those seeds, the moral compass. But that doesn't mean the story ends there, bro, because you can definitely become the man you needed when you were younger. You can be that guy. You can be him, that dad, that father, coach, mentor, older brother. You can plant those seeds of a moral compass, bro. Help shape someone's moral compass and help break the cycle, dog. Because one good man has the power to change generations, bro. So if you had a man like that in your life, you better thank his ass. Don't assume he already knows, just tell him. And if you didn't, become him. Until then, stay grounded, keep swinging, and don't get caught on the web. Catch y'all later.